Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Sweet.t.reads. My name is Teresa. This is like a secondary April TBR, I guess you could say. So in this video, I am going to be talking about my TBR for the Magical Readathon, as well as Realmathon, or the Realm of Readathons. Okay, I already did like a part 1, I guess you could say, of my April TBR. If you want to check it out, it'll be linked above, and that is going over my Disability Readathon TBR, because I'm going to be participating in 3 readathons this month, which is Disability Readathon, the Magical Readathon, and the Realm of the Readathons. I talked about the disability one in my previous video, and here I'm going to be talking about the other 2, so stay tuned if you want to know what all I'm going to be reading and kind of more about like my character and stuff, because I'm super excited. So the amazing G from Book Roast has put together this readathon. I know it used to be like Harry Potter inspired, and I always wanted to take part in it and just never got around to it. But this year, it's more of just a general magic inspired type of readathon, and she basically made everything up herself, came up with the story. It's super cool. Like, this girl is super talented, and it's basically about a magic school. So we are going to a magical school of Aurelium, and this is the spring semester. So we have like, I mean, she came up with this amazing paperwork, and you have, here's your syllabus with all your courses on it. You have just like, I have my little informational sheet that talks about my character. This is so fun. You have callings. I mean, it's just awesome what this girl has done. Like, the amount of effort put into this, I think it's super, super cool. Like, everything is linked below if you want to know any more information about it, like in depth and stuff. Go check out G's video, because she did quite in-depth explanation of everything. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about my character and then kind of go into the guild I'm in, the callings, and all that. And if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, again, go check out her video, and then you can come back here and watch this. Will make way more sense to you. So my character is an earth type earthling. Her name is Fea, and she is in the Order of the Crescent Guild, and her calling, or the area of study that she has decided to join, is the Beastmaster. So this is all information about the Beastmaster, and kind of like a secondary thing, which is more for me than my character per se, is if she cannot make it, as in I can't read all the books, for Beastmaster, Herbologist is the second choice. And the cool thing about Herbologist is 2 of the prompts, or the only 2 prompts for Herbologist, are also in Beastmaster. So as long as I complete these 2 prompts this month, I for sure got this, but I'm going for that. So the guild, I'm in the Order of the Crescent, which is the teal and gold, and her conduit is a bow. So she is a novice, because I think everyone's a novice because this is the first year and the first semester at this school. She's a wildling, which means that she grew up more in the country, in the woods, than in the city. And she is from the country of Etheria. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Etheria, which is like the woodland type of very grassy, very green, very woody type of environment. So my character, Fea, her mom is an earthling, an earthling, and her father is actually a human. So she is only a half earthling, but she is very powerful. She is very connected to the earth. I don't know about powerful yet, because she hasn't learned anything, but she has the potential to become a very powerful earthling. She's very connected to the earth, very connected to nature and animals, and just has always, ever since she was a baby, been really in tune to nature. And her parents have always been really supportive and helping her in that. And both of her parents actually are tinkers, or like scientists. They're more of the like scientific, like beakers and lab type work, but she is very much into the biology and the animal studies and that kind of thing. And so she has joined this magical school to further her career as a Beastmaster and become a great caretaker of all of the world. I cannot think of what the world is called right now. All their animals. So yeah, that's a little bit about my character. I'm really excited to develop it more and like dive into this and kind of give her more of a backstory and stuff. It's super fun. For the calling of Beastmaster, I have for the spring equinox, so there's a spring equinox and the autumn equinox, which is 2 months of the year that we'll be having these readathons. And the key traits of a Beastmaster are nurturing, protective, and gentle. And the Beastmaster is an expert on magical animals. And the cool thing about the Order of the Crescent is you also have a magical or like a familiar, an animal familiar, and Freya's animal familiar is a dire wolf. I don't have a name for him yet, so I'm gonna have to think about that. But anyways, Beastmaster, the classes that I need to take are environmental studies, animal studies, alchemy, restoration, and lore. And then for herbologist, alchemy and restoration are the two that you need. So I'm definitely focusing on alchemy and restoration as like the two main ones I'm going to focus on. And then if I'm able to get to it throughout the month, I'll do environmental studies, animal studies, and lore. First off, let's do the prompt of alchemy. And that one again is for both careers or callings. And this is a book featuring romance. So I am not a romance reader at all. It does have romance in this book, so I kind of stretched it a little bit, I guess you could say. And this isn't the actual book that I'm going to show you. This is Obsidio. This is the next book I'm going to be reading. I actually already read the book for this, so yay for me. I'm already good there. I read Gemina, which is book 2 in the Illuminae files. This is Obsidio, which is book 3 in the Illuminae files. I will hopefully get to this one as well this month, but it's not a priority. I'm just having it as a placeholder for Gemina. So these books are multimedia, they're sci-fi, they're by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. If you don't know what the Illuminae files are about, they're amazing. I've actually been really super enjoying them. Each book takes place kind of around the same thing, but follows different characters about AI, rogue AIs in space and war and all sorts of things. It's super fun. So book 2 definitely had a love kind of romance in the center of it. While it was not necessarily the main story, it drove the story quite a lot, and it drove the characters anyways, and made the characters choose certain choices that they did was because of the romance. So I'm totally counting that as that. So yeah, Gemina, and then hopefully I'll get to Obsidio as well this month. The next one that is both for herbologists and Beastmaster is Restoration, and this is a book featuring healers. And the book I chose for this, which is perfect for the Beastmaster, is Life at the Zoo, Behind the Scenes with the Animal Doctor by Philip T. Robinson. So this obviously is about healers because it's about a veterinarian, or it's written by a veterinarian about working at the zoo. And vets are healers. They're animal doctors. And like, hello, I want to be a Beastmaster. So like, it fits perfect. Growing up, actually my whole life, like if I still was able to go back to school now and do this would be something that I would just strive for. Wanted to be a zoo veterinarian. Unfortunately, I became very ill and I have a chronic illness, which basically makes me disabled. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that with my life. But again, if I ever got the opportunity, 100%. Being a zoo veterinarian was like my dream since a tiny child. So being able to kind of read about it and live through it through their eyes, and you know, it's got pictures. It's definitely an older book. Let me see what year it was written. Written in 2004, and so obviously just like human medicine, animal medicine, zoo medicine has progressed greatly since 2004. What was that, like 18 years ago? But I'm still really excited to read this and kind of learn about, you know, what it's like to be a zoo doctor. I'm really excited for this book. So if I read that one, since I've already read Gemina, then I have got the herbologist down. And then the only thing I have to do is try and complete the rest for Beastmaster. So the next one that is for Beastmaster is Animal Studies, and that is a quick read, and I have also finished this book as well. No, I have not. So a quick read, and I'm choosing Dead Voices by Catherine Arden. This is book 2 in the Small Spaces Quartet. It is like a mystery, or not mystery, middle grade horror, I guess you could say, middle grade suspense. And I really enjoyed the first book. This one, honestly, I don't really know what it's about. It's following the same characters from the first one. So the first book was following, or is about this girl who discovers this book of ghost stories, of local ghost stories, and then her class takes a trip to this farm, and I think they're in Virginia or something like that. And the ghost stories in the book are kind of like coming to life around her. Like, she realizes like they might not be stories, they might be true life, and creepy things start happening. And let's just say it involved a lot of scarecrows. It reminded me of Jeepers Creepers. It was great. It was a great fun time. So this is the second book, and I think in this one they're in this mountains. Yeah, so the last one was fall. This one is like a winter. I think the next one is spring, and then the next one is summer. So they go up into the mountains for a ski trip, and they get stuck in a snowstorm, and there's a ghost hunter. So that's all I need to know about this. It just sounds fun. Like I said, I really like the first book. So this one is for animal studies because it is a middle grade. It is only, it's only 236 pages. So I can pop this out in one sitting, no problem, super quick read. The next prompt we have is Environmental Studies, which is a book under 100 pages. And I have read this one already, so I am doing pretty good so far. And I chose Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna Maguire. I have not read the series yet. Actually, I've never read anything by Shauna Maguire, but I have heard so many people rave about this series. Like, everyone who reads these series absolutely adores them. So I did read the first one already, and for those of you who don't know what this is about, it's basically they're a series of companion novels. So they're not really like a series, they're companions, but it follows these children who go to a magical world and then get back to our Earth. And basically think, like Alice in Wonderland or Narnia, where when Alice goes to Wonderland, then she comes back to our Earth, our reality, or when the kids from Narnia go there and then come back, like it's kind of like that. So this is a school for these children. Eleanor West has a school for these children who have come back and can't cope because they feel like their real home was in that other world, the portal fantasy world, whatever they were in. And it's really interesting. I really enjoyed it. I gotta say, I forgot it was an adult book. I totally thought it was YA, and I started reading it and I was like, oh, that's definitely not YA. Because there is some stuff that, like, if I realized it was adult, I don't think it would have been as jarring to me, but there's a couple of things that were said that I was like, whoa, wait, what? But it's an adult series, so totally makes sense. But yeah, this is the next book that I'm reading, or I already read it, so we're good there. I'm already down 2 out of my, 4 or 5 prompts? 5 prompts, so I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good so far. And the last prompt is Lore, which is mythology inspired, and I'm hoping to read this book. I am getting it from the library. I don't know if it'll be to me in time, so if not, I'm gonna have to find something else. But the book I'm choosing is Lore Olympus by Rachel Smith, and this is like, people have been raving about this. I guess it's a graphic novel, or it was a web comic made into a novel book format. So this is volume 1, and it is a Persephone and Hades retelling. I don't really know much more about it, but I've heard everyone has been raving about this lately. And it's mythology inspired. It is Greek mythology, so I figured, if I can get it from the library, I will try and get that one. If not, I will definitely see. I'm sure I have some sort of mythology inspired books on my shelf, so I'll have to see what I can find for that. So yeah, that is my TBR for the magical readathon for Aurelium Academy. I am super excited to be taking place in this, as I have been wanting to take place in one of G's readathons for a long time. I just never was able to. So now we're kind of like at new beginnings. I feel like, yay, I can kind of jump in and continue with everybody else. I'm super excited for this. And the last readathon that I'm going to be talking about is The Realm of the Readathons, or Realmathon, by Cassidy. I think her channel is Covers with Cassidy. Like I said, everything that you need to know will be linked in the description down below. Yes, Covers with Cassidy is her name, and she has all this information. I will link the video, or I will try and link the video, I guess, to the announcement video. Anyways, this is a readathon that has to do with different fantasy realms, and so the focus is, there's like 4 different realms, and they focus on different types of fantasy genres or subgenres. And Cassidy's favorite is military fantasy, so that's kind of one of the things this is about. It's like a competition to see like which realm is the best, which I love stuff like that. So in this readathon, depending on what books you read, you can either add points to your realm or take away points from other people from other realms, which is super fun. So I'm in the realm of Serene, which is the water realm, and the subgenre for this is whimsical fantasy, and this is hosted, or yeah, the hosts of this specific realm are Maddie from Book Browsing Blog and Rye from Rye's Reading Corner. And the way this works is basically there's like a buttload of prompts, like this huge list of prompts that you can choose from, and you can add up. So like one book can have up to 5 prompts, and you get points for each prompts, and it's a really interesting, like, cool thing. So go ahead and check out her channel if you're interested in that. So this one, I'm not really necessarily like focusing super hard on this readathon, because my main focuses are for sure Disability Readathon and Magical Readathon. This is just going to be like, if like some of the books that I'm already reading kind of already fit prompts for this. So I'm like, I might as well just count them anyways. And then once I finish reading the books that I've read for the other 2, if I have time to read more books, I will try and find books that fit prompts. But there are a couple that specifically, so I'll just go over the books that I have already, and that will go like what prompts that they will cover. So to deplete, we have, so like basically to take away points from the other team. Some of the prompts that I'm going to be covering in my reading is any kind of representation, which, because I'm reading Disability Readathon, there's a bunch of disabled rep there. Red on the cover. This one has red on the cover. Let me go ahead and just tell you the books I'm reading for Disability Readathon really quickly, so you know. We have Disability Visibility, edited by Alice Wong. What Doesn't Kill You, A Life with Chronic Illness, Lessons from a Body in Revolt by Tessa Miller. Get a Grip, Vivi Cohen by Sarah Caput. And I'm also reading A Muse for Fire, which I will go ahead and put the thing here and show you. A Muse for Fire by Heidi Helged. And what was the other book that I am reading? Oh, Show Me a Sign by Anne Claire Lizotte. So those are all of the books I'm reading for the Disability Readathon. So yeah, we have any kind of representation, red on the cover, a short book, a sci-fi, a book with dragons, indie or self-pub book, magical warfare or weapons in the book, an isolated setting, an orphan or betrayal, and a TBR veteran are all prompts that I should be able to complete with all of the books I already talked about that I showed you. And if I am able to do that, then that takes points away from rival realms, which is super cool. And then to add realms, or add to my realm and give my realm points, I have to read these are the prompts that I found that already match up with books I'm reading. New to me author, a book with a map, weapon on the cover, a spooky book, a romance, green on the cover, a YA or middle grade nonfiction, a parent-child relationship or mentor-mentee relationship, mental health, representation, or a book about healing, a chunky book, an enemies to lovers, and read a book in one sitting. So those are all of the prompts that I should be able to fulfill by reading the books that I've already spoken about. And the last thing, you get 4 extra points if you read one of Cassidy's favorites, and a couple of them that I'm interested in, that I might get to, like, would be my next priority if I'm reading everything else that's already been finished. So Cassidy figures like she has her favorites, but then she also says basically any book that she has rated a 4-star or higher is considered a favorite. or can be considered like counted for that. So a few of the books that I'm interested in that Cassidy has on her favorites list is No Exit by Taylor Adams, Recursion by Blake Crouch, The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winters, The Black Coast by Mike Brooks, A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson, and the last book that is considered one of her favorites, or within at least a 4-star, is Near the Bone by Christina Henry. So the plan is to read at least one of those books, if not all of them. I don't think I'm going to be reading all of them, but to read at least one of those in the month of April once everything else is done. And then if I do that, I will consider April a great month as far as TBR stuff goes. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you like this video, subscribe, do all the things that you do. You can find my information, social media, all that stuff in the description down below with everything else you need to know. And yeah, if you're interested in learning more about the books I'm reading for the Disability Readathon, check out the video linked above. And I will hopefully see you in a video very soon. Bye guys!